All right, welcome back to the Tampa Bay Rowdies podcast, episode 4. Little bit different look this one. If you're watching on YouTube, you should be subscribed already. But if you haven't subscribed YouTube, subscribe all the different channels for the podcast. We are in the locker room at the practice facility. Couldn't get in the studio this week. And the good thing about it is it actually smells. It's authentic, so you're getting a real taste of this, Seth.
Yeah, no, I was going to say it doesn't smell bad or anything. Like I'm pretty impressed with just I mean, it is pretty close. We were almost touching knees during the interview, which you guys will see very shortly. But yeah, I don't think, not everybody's not here for long periods of time together. But I like the vibe, man. I could sit here for a while and just talk to the boys.
It's a little locker room talk. That's all it is.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So obviously the big thing coming off of the weekend and, without the studio, we had to get this podcast in because we have to touch on the big win over the weekend for the Rowdies. Obviously, they're moving forward. They're looking towards Loudoun, but in terms of a home opener, couldn't ask for anything better.
Well, what did you think from talking about the X's and O's, beating the champions, Pittsburgh? I mean, we talked about how that would kind of set the tone. Like that was not just beating them. Like that was a pretty nice domination. That was right there at Al Lang.
Yeah, I think that for me, you saw, especially in the second half, you saw what the team wants to do a little bit more. In the first half, it felt like it took a little bit of time. I actually asked Coach Dom Casiato the other day just to walk around the facility, what he thought about the game and what he thought about the first half. And, he said he thought there was a little bit of rust from the bye week and it took a little bit of time to piece it together. But I even said on the broadcast, once they scored that first goal towards the end of the first half, you could kind of tell that it was that big momentum swing that they needed. And then once they came out at halftime, they were just guns blazing. There were so many different opportunities for the Rowdies to score. Pittsburgh did a good job, bend but don't break for quite some time. But you saw a team that's solid defensively. They haven't given up a goal in the year. They're solid defensively. And then if you slip up a little bit, they can catch you on a counter, score quick. They can move the ball around. They can do a lot of different things to beat you. So I think it's an exciting year.
Dude, I know you were doing doing color for the game, right? Mm-hmm. And I was out there. I appreciate the tickets. That was the second Rowdies game that I've been to. And the vibes and the energy from the Skyway Casuals and Ralph's Mob, and when they were I caught them when they were walking into the game, and they had like the yellow and green. Well, I don't know what's going to color, spray paint, smoke that's going up. I love that. We got to get that for the show, by the way. We got to get those when we're coming in.
Just like a WWE entrance.
Just like the green and the yellow colors coming up. It was intimidating. It was like a great look. So, and then just getting into the game with my daughter, and they were they were screaming and having fun the whole time. And man, it was just it was awesome, and I was so happy that the Rowdies were able to win on the field, because I know obviously how important that stuff is. You've got opening night here, everybody's coming here, people are checking out a game for the first time. By the way, it looked like everybody around me was like very familiar with what was happening. I felt like I was the guy that didn't know what was going on, but it was a great night, dude. And congrats to the Rowdies, congrats to you. It's just an awesome way to start the home season, and now I think when you see what the team does on the field, and when you go and you have a good time, you're like, well, when's the next game? I want to go. Okay, well, it's this Saturday, so we're going to be there.
Well, I think that from my question to you a little bit, because I've seen the game in the booth, I played, and I've been in the stands a little bit, but from the fan perspective on your end, because you've been to all the different sporting events, right? You've been to all of the Tampa sporting events. What makes it unique, and what is the thing that makes it stand out from the other ones?
Dude, the weather is so nice that you don't even talk about the weather, because you're just existing in it. So there's that. I love fresh air. I love being out in the elements. So it's that. And then I think we've talked about it before. I don't know. I think I think Naples might have like a nice field or a nice view or something, but this is the nicest view in sports that I've seen that Al Lang has. And to sit back I've been in St. Pete for a good part of my life, and for me to pull out my phone and film just like the background and the soccer field and just all the boats that are in it, it's to me there's nothing that can compare to that. Everybody wants the Rays are obviously going to have a stadium, outdoor. Who knows if it's going to be outdoors? People talk about it's real sports when you're actually sitting outdoors, but there's just something about it where you're not sitting there in the sun. It's at night. Like there was not a bunch of obnoxious people around me. Like everybody's cool, and I just had a great time, dude. It's if you go to a Bucks game, you're somebody's spilling beer on you, or somebody's getting or they're cussing, and you're like,
you might be getting punched in the face.
Yeah, like, oh my God, you got to call that number where security comes, and they escort that person away. But it's a place for kids. My daughter saw her soccer coach there, and it's just you start to see everybody from the community. And it's that kind of place now where we kind of run down in the St. Pete soccer community, and just seeing those people there, it's going to become a place that we all get together more often.
Well, I think that's what makes it, that's one of the things that I wanted to come back and work for this club for, because you said it. I still pull out my phone when I see Outling. I've seen Outling 100 times now. I drive over there almost 3 times a week. So I see it all the time. But every time I do it, I'm like, I got to snap a picture of this just because it's so beautiful in the backdrop. But then you talk about it as well. There's something unique about the soccer community in this area that it's very welcoming. You know what I mean? It's something where you could be a fan, you could be a casual fan, you could be a diehard fan, you could be somebody that just wants to go to a sporting event outside. And the fans are going to be welcoming, the environment's going to be welcoming. And of course, like you said, it helps when everybody wins, and the boys did a good job of making sure that was the case.
So since I was in the stands, obviously, how did you do? How do you feel like you did on, color for it was your first game of the year, right?
First game of the year, yeah. It takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of time to get into a bit of a rhythm, if I'm being completely honest.
Oh, you're mad at yourself, aren't you?
I listened back during the broadcast. I was like, could have done that a lot better. But then I listened back, and it's never as bad as you think when you're doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what they vote. They always said in radio. It's never as good as you think it is, and it's never as bad as you think it is.
Yeah. So there were definitely moments that in my head I was like, why did I do that? But then you listen to it back, and you're like, oh, I did that because it actually turned out to be right. So,
okay. All right. So you were hard on yourself. You went back, watched the tape, and now you're looking forward to improving this week. That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, every week, it's a step-by-step process, just like the guys on the field.
Sure, dude. Everybody's building. Yeah. How's your off the field chemistry with everybody? Good. How are you guys bonding around the office?
Everything helps with a win.
Yeah.
I think the vibes are higher around the office right now, but everybody's got to make sure that they stay on top of it and get ready for the next week. But I think one of the best things about the broadcast this week that we just did, and I even thank the guys for doing it, is because we got our first look at some of the bigger signings the Rowdies have had this year. Emily Myers, Evan Conway, they're coming off the bench. They're dealing with some health injuries. And on the broadcast, when MD was coming in, I said, this is the guy that everybody should be excited about. He's going to score a ton of goals for the Rowdies this year. And then he scored like 5 minutes later. So it's just like genius checkbox.
There you go. Finally. Yeah. We want to know.
And then even with Evan, too, we hadn't seen him at all. And then he subs in like the 90th. And I was like, this is another player everyone should be excited about. He's going to score a lot of goals for the Rowdies this year. And then he scored. So I had to thank them this week for making me look really smart.
Okay. Well, how's your bracket doing for the NCAA tournament? Because apparently you got it all on lockdown right now, man.
Bracket's not good.
Not good. No. Nobody's bracket's good.
Bracket's not good.
Nobody's good. So is there anything else going on? So focused on the Rowdies from this past week, is there anything that's been going on in the soccer world that you've heard about?
Well, the one thing, and you alerted it to me, and I had to do a little bit deep dive on it, was this Mbappe situation with the doctor scanning the wrong leg.
Well, yeah. Have you ever heard of anything? So I guess, I don't know, it was a knee or something, and he got the wrong leg scan. So he played a couple of games like on the leg, and then couldn't figure out what was wrong with it, and found out that they scanned, what was it, an MRI or something?
The thing is, though, is that I think that could be both people's fault. Like, you know which leg you're getting scanned.
Yeah.
Right? You know which leg you're getting scanned, so you can stop the doctor and be like, hey.
It's a real story, by the way. I was like, is this a real story? I've never seen that they could do this. But no, that's, maybe Mbappe was like, maybe he looked at his bank account real quick and he like goes, oh my gosh, and then he didn't realize they were doing the wrong leg. That's one of the oddest, nothing like that. You've never experienced anything like that before, where the doctors like
not a wrong leg, no, not a wrong body part. They usually do a good job of making the X.
Okay.
Because I've had a couple of surgeries, and when you go into surgery, they make sure that they take out a big marker before you go in, and they mark it, and then they're like, this is the one that we are operating on, right? And you're like, yes. And then they mark it with a big X to make sure nothing happens in the operating room.
What's the last operation that you had?
Oof. I tore my rectus femoris tendon, which is the thing that attaches your quad to your hip.
Oh, yeah, I remember you told me about that.
Yeah,
that's like a rare injury, right?
Yeah, it literally happened just from kicking. So it was just like my body was just like, no mas, brother.
Oh, it was over? That's when, oh my gosh,
like,
dude.
My body was like, no mas, my friend, no more kicking.
They had to draw a big X then on that whole side there. That's a lot they had to repair.
They got it right, though, so that's a...
Good, yeah. Yeah, you don't limp or anything like that. Let me ask you this. As we like to talk about things that are going on in the Tampa Bay area and the Tampa Bay sports scene, Levante David said, the other day that they were having a press conference at 2:00. I didn't think it was to announce like a 1-year deal or anything like that. It was Levante retiring. I mean, was it, I don't know, 12, 14 seasons? It's been, Levante's just been an excellent player on and off the field. We just talked about Mike Evans, on the first show about him going, oh, yeah. Are they motion to That's the clip. That's the clip right there.
No studio, so the motion detector in the locker room just went out for those that are just listening.
That was good. Yeah, let's just keep that going, dude. So I want to know, are you okay, or how are you handling the Levante David news? Do we have a comparison with the Rowdies as far as somebody that gave? It's tough to play with one club, one team your whole entire life. Once Tom Brady and Michael Jordan went to other teams, I was like, I think it's okay if you wear a different jersey. So tell me how you feel about Levante and the comparison on the Rowdies.
Well, I think that, as a Tampa Bay sports fan, you got to respect what Levante David did for the community as well, what he did for the team. And he was somebody that kind of came in and nobody expected much from him, but just had one of those quiet, incredible careers throughout the entirety of the time that he was a Buck. And as like a former athlete who, we just talked about it, my career ended because of injury. And so many people's career ends because of injury or because of circumstances that are kind of out of their control. So for someone like Levante David to be able to retire in that fashion and like retire where he wants to retire and have his moment of a press conference and he's going to get his glory, there's going to be a lot of things that come with that. So I think that from the athlete side of things, it's exactly how you could dream it up. But from like a fan side of things, obviously it's going to be weird not seeing him running around out there. But, that side of it is what it is.
And so is there a comparison that, Levante David, is there one that we could make for the Rowdies?
So he didn't stay like the entirety of his career, but I think that he's somebody that probably could keep playing if he wanted to. Is our head of scouting, Leo Fernandez.
Oh,
he's my comparison. Just an absolute stud on the field, somebody that the fans loved, always worked hard, did his thing, and then now he's retired and he stepped away from it. So I'm gonna go with Leo.
He's I'm familiar with him. His son. My daughter, they know each other from soccer and all this stuff, and I've seen Leo. He's come out to some of the youth soccer games. I guess like they'll just go out there and watch random soccer, like random youth games, even when they're not playing. Maybe he's scouting. The under 10 or whatever it is. But he looks like that. He looks like he still could be ready to go at any moment's notice.
Well, there's times where he has to jump into practice and stuff, and so he's still got it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's still got it. But he's doing a good job of this scouting department. We'll have him on here one day. He's building things out, but. He's somebody that I think was loved by all, probably could have kept playing if he really wanted to, but ultimately decided to step away and call it a career.
Are you waiting to be called into practice at all?
Dude, so that's a funny transition because I was actually going to speak on this. Obviously, Jamali, he's gone to Jamaica, so he won't be here this weekend, which is...
We got it to you.
We'll pull those out.
Yeah.
So, he's not going to be here this weekend. We interviewed him last week and, spoke about his time that he's going to be in Jamaica, and it's well known that he's gone with the national team.
Do we know how long he's gone for? Does it just depend on how they do?
Depends on results. But, so he won't be here for this weekend. So Austin Pack is going to be the goalkeeper who's stepping in for the team. He's been on the group a long time. He's somebody that the fans should be comfortable with. He's had a lot of success at USL 1. He's somebody that, he's been training hard, and we get a good look at him. But I think that one of the things that, and later in this episode we'll talk about it, we interviewed Karsen Henderlong, who speaks about the mentality of things and just kind of like the mindset of what's going through Austin's head and the mentality of stepping in, knowing that you're going to step in, especially in the role that he's going to. I think it's just going to be an interesting thing and a fun thing to watch this weekend to see how somebody who's been waiting for their opportunity jumps in. And it's just something the fans should be excited about because those are those little things that happen throughout the course of a season that really mean a lot.
I was going to ask you, sorry, I dropped my water right there. So you haven't been called into practice at all, by the way?
I asked. I was like, hey, listen, I'll give it a go.
I'm here.
Yeah, but they thought I was kidding, but I wasn't, so that just kind of hurt my feelings.
Can I, is it okay if I show these real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. When with this, it was pretty cool last week. If you listen to the episode, if you haven't listened to it yet, go back and listen to Jamali Waite. He did a great interview. Get to know him a little bit. Tremendous human being, and this kind of just hammers home the point.
Great guy. Yeah, so did he say it on the podcast that he was going to do these, that he was going to give these to my daughter?
I think he might have said it after the fact.
I'm not sure if he did it on or off, but he signed his gloves. He said he was actually going to do it. And it says, to the Great Wall of Sammy, never lose your love and joy.
What a guy.
Dude, I miss Jamali. That's why I'm ready. I mean, I want to make it a do great, but I want him to come home. So, we're rooting for you, Jamali. I'm sure that you're watching this.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think that speaks to, just the character, the leadership, and again, everybody that we've talked to, everybody that we've interviewed, it's easy to see why this team's been coming together as well as it has, and everything's upbeat right now, but there's going to be ups and downs throughout the season, of course. But when you have guys with good character, I think it's something that the fans should be excited about.
And we're doing this again Saturday night. If you need your tickets, rowdysoccer.com.
Yes, sir. Rowdysoccer.com. We'll be playing Loudoun. We haven't had a lot of success against Loudoun as of recent, so this is a good opportunity for this group to. The sensor light goes out again. We'll just keep it moving.
Yeah, I like this. Yeah, I'll finish it up.
This is a good opportunity for this group once again to prove that that this isn't the team of old. They can move things forward. Rowdysoccer.com. Gates open at 6:30. Kickoff at 7:30. Rowdies versus Loudoun. Tune in and then stick around for our interview with Karsen Henderlong.
And then look for me. I'm going to be having those color things walking around until they kick me out.
All right, Karsen Henderlong, welcome to the podcast. The first, probably only episode between two locker rooms. We appreciate you coming on, man. Looking forward to introducing you to the fans, getting to know you a little bit more. So we appreciate you coming on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, no worries. So your family was the first family that I met when I took the job with the Rowdies at the ticket event. How are you guys settling in Tampa? How's everything been going? How you been enjoying it so far?
Good. It's me and my girlfriend down here. She moved with me to Naples for the first time, so this is our kind of second year go at living together. So it's good, though. She has family here. I think you met her aunt. So it's been nice to have someone kind of close, family nearby.
Close by, yeah, for sure. So what are you guys doing to settle in a little bit in this area?
We spent a lot of time in downtown St. Pete, checking out there. Haven't made it up to Tampa too much, but just we like to go get coffee and
coffee is the only theme with the players.
That's the thing, man. Everybody likes coffee. Everybody. Yeah. I mean, you got a spot. Have you been to Kawa at all?
I went to Kawa once.
There we go. Finally.
Through the drive-through.
What's your go-to drink? What do you?
I usually go for cold brew, black, or just an iced Americano.
Classic man. So just want to talk a little bit about your soccer journey and kind of like how you ended up here with the Tampa Bay Rowdies and just kind of your mindset and mentality coming into this season, knowing that you're coming into this new environment and everything that you've been going through. So career starts, right, Xavier?
Yes.
That was your first collegiate team?
Yep, Cincinnati.
Had a little bit of success there, and then you made the jump over to the hometown Indiana.
Yeah.
What was that transition like? What was it kind of like going back to your college hometown, I suppose, and kind of that process?
Yeah, it's actually funny because out of high school I did not want to go to Indiana. I don't know why. I just didn't have a desire there to go there. My dream school was like Notre Dame. I lived closer to that area. My dad graduated, got his master's there.
Was your family Indiana or Notre Dame?
We were Notre Dame fans.
Okay, all right.
We were Notre Dame fans, so that's kind of why that happened. And like you said, I had some success at Xavier, and I decided it was time to transfer. And Indiana was actually the first school they called me. And that's a hard place to turn down in the soccer world, the college soccer world. Like, it's pretty. That's the place you want to be. Right. I don't know what my mind was in high school that I didn't want to go there. But
how'd they woo you?
When you learn more about it, I didn't know that much about it in high school. But when you learn about the excellence that's been there and like the expectation to win, and that's what I wanted. That's part of the reason why I decided to transfer. I was like, I want to do something. I want to win something in college. And when they tell you what they've done, you're kind of like, okay, like this is the place you want to go.
Would you say that Indiana is now more of a soccer school or a football school?
That's tough because football has won the last national championship, but if you look back at the record for football prior to the past two seasons, it's not. I think they're at the worst, the most losses.
Like the worst, worst program ever.
It's a soccer school.
Yeah, literally the most impressive turnaround in collegiate sports history. Yeah.
When I was there, you could walk into the game, like once the first quarter was over, and sit wherever you want.
Yeah,
and now it's like guys are like dying to get tickets to go. So
it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So what was the atmosphere like on Saturday night for the first home game?
Yeah, it was awesome. Obviously, the fans were great. I think everyone, because we have so many new guys, were like excited to get out there. Obviously, I played Tampa twice last year in Naples, and we played them both in Naples. And I was kind of like, I like to have a home game, but I would also like to go play in Tampa Bay. So experience that. So now it's nice. I get to experience it a lot. So
experience on the right side of the rivalry. Right?
Yeah.
So talking about your time in Naples, you start your career at Indy 11, and then you make the move over to Naples. You have a lot of success with Naples. Kind of what's been your mentality and your mindset throughout the course? It's a young career. You're just really getting going. So what's kind of been your mindset as you've been going from the you started Indy 11, maybe a little bit of a setback going to a team like Naples, but then having so much success that it got you to a team like Tampa. What's kind of been your mindset and the mentality that's driven you to get you to this point?
Yeah, like you said, Indy 11 wasn't really the greatest start to my career. And I think I struggled with that a little bit, and I wanted to go somewhere where I was going to get that love of feeling of playing, the joy of everything back, and Naples gave me that opportunity. Obviously, the goal was to go there and get Naples or the club or any of that, but like my goals on the field were to go there, play well, and get out. So it was just a mindset of like, you're here to have fun, like that's why we play, but also like you're here to do your job and excel and move on. So.
What are some of the things, when you talk about going to Naples, from Indy 11 to Naples, was that a tough decision for you? Was that something that you were kind of like juggling with, or was that something that you knew I can make this move? Because I think a lot of young players go through that, right? Especially like younger ages when we're talking to like kids and trying to figure out clubs and things like that. Sometimes they view going down a league as a setback, right? And it's hard for them to overcome that. But your mentality was, I'm going to use this as a launching pad to the next phase of my career. So kind of what was your mindset with that, and was that a tough decision for you?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, after Indy, I didn't get a ton of game time, and options were kind of limited. And I was like, I need to go somewhere where I can prove myself. And I think for younger players, like, the important thing is getting minutes and playing so you can showcase what you can do. And I always have a self-belief in myself that, like, if I'm on the field, I'm going to make an impact and I'm going to do well. So it was a tough decision. There's the thought in your back of your head, like, oh, I'm taking a step down here. But it's also just a step in the right direction for my own career. So
I think that's important for the young players, especially because, like, sometimes you can view it as a setback and people can get down about that, but at the same time, like, if you approach it with the right mentality, then that's a huge learning moment for young players out there. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Do you come from a soccer family, would you say?
Yes, actually. Not my dad's side of the family. My dad grew up playing basketball, baseball, football, but my mom's side, like, my grandpa was a coach for all my aunts and uncles. All of them but my mom played in college soccer at St. Joseph's in near where I'm from, Northwest Indiana area. I don't think they have a program anymore, but they all played. So soccer was kind of a thing that, like, my brother and my sister played growing up. My sister played in college, so it was...
Did you have any of that crossover with your dad's side, with the other sports? Or
I played baseball very competitively growing up. I played basketball, and then I just decided that soccer was my...
Yeah. How long did you play those other sports for?
Played basketball till high school, and then baseball I played till I was like 11 or 12, really competitively. And
yeah.
Did you stop playing basketball when your brother started beating you? Is that because I know your brother's he's a college basketball guy?
Yeah, he is. He plays at Milwaukee School of Engineering, Division III program. Yeah.
Dual purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a quite bit younger than me, but he would definitely beat me now. Probably shouldn't have said that because he'll listen to this. But he's got a couple inches on me, and he's pretty good.
Do you catch his games? Does he catch your games?
Yeah, he was down here this past weekend. Actually, he was on spring break, so he came down during like our off season is kind of when they're in season, so I was able to catch a couple games. So
that's awesome, man. It's funny when you have that like sibling rivalry a little bit. It's cross sports, but I'm sure you guys think you could beat each other at each different sport.
Yeah. He likes to think somehow he's good at soccer. He stopped playing when he was young. So
that's funny. Yeah. That's funny. So do you still follow these other sports? Like, are you still a big baseball fan, big basketball fan?
Not so much baseball, honestly. I kind of quit baseball because I found it boring compared to the other two.
But we love the Rays.
We love the Rays. I love to go to baseball games. I'm not really going to sit on my couch and watch it,
right.
But I do love watching basketball, college basketball, NBA when the playoffs roll around, but mostly college basketball.
You follow the tournament at all?
Yeah, I have.
Who do you think's going to win it?
I think it's between Michigan or Arizona. I picked Arizona in my bracket, but I also said Michigan on our social media post. So.
Oh man,
at least you got both things covered.
Covering it all. Okay, yeah. I think everybody's bracket's pretty screwed up right now.
Yes, yeah. Florida losing was
awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Florida losing was awesome. But no, that's cool, man. So just kind of back to your soccer mindset a little bit. You know, you come to this team, and you know, I look at the forward line. I look at the forwards that are on this team, yourself included, and it is a loaded room. So just curious how you guys are pushing each other. How's that support system been? Are there things that you're learning from one another? Just kind of walk through that process, because I think that's another important thing for young players. You know, competition and positions within a team exist, but there's so much that you can learn from one another.
Yeah. Obviously, like you said, we have a lot of great attacking players on this team. Guys that have achieved a lot of things in this league, guys that are just kind of getting started in their career in this league. Just supporting each other, but also like taking in information, like someone like Russell, who has done so much, and like getting little pieces of information on like how he finds his success. And obviously MD's had a great start to his career in this league, and we play the same position, but like watching him and learning some of the things that he does, and then just honestly supporting each other is the biggest thing though. Like obviously I want to score all the goals, but like when MD scores or Russell scores or Evan scores, well, like being happy because we are on a team, and like the goal is to win, not just for you to have success.
I think that was one of the things that I saw after MD scored, and your face was like lit up. You know, you were excited for everybody and excited for the team. And I think that's an important part of kind of what you guys are building here. You know what I mean? It seems like a group that really wants to support one another, and a group that everybody can kind of learn from. Is that kind of how you're feeling about it so far?
Yeah, that's definitely how I feel about it. Just the support I've received from maybe some of the veteran guys that have done it before, and guys like MD and myself, like supporting each other. It's been really good. So
nice.
How is the camaraderie being built? You know, we've talked to Jimbali and Marco, and they talked about, you know, playing cards, doing lunches, everything like that. How are you finding that the team, you know, obviously winning and playing, all that helps. How are you finding, you know, the team coming together?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously, a lot of new guys, a lot of new faces, a lot of guys here for the first time. So just getting to know everyone on a deeper level than just like them as a soccer player is always important. And then spending time with people outside of off the field, right, away from the facility, is important. And I think, like you said, going to get coffee, hanging out with people on our off days and stuff like that. Sometimes in soccer it can be like you get out of the locker room and you're like, okay, I don't want to see some of these people for but
which
like, I don't really find that here. No, not.
Good, it's just like any other job where you meet all your coworkers, or you know, certain times.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. So we've kind of been ending every interview with this question. Just kind of in your own words, you know, we're trying to build the fan relationship a little bit. So just kind of in your own words, when fans show up to Al Lang Stadium, what can they expect from you, and what can they expect from the group?
Yeah, I think from the group is just like hard work, but also exciting. Like we're going to work super hard defensively to win the ball back, but when we get on the ball, we want to be composed. We want to be exciting to watch. We want to score a lot of goals. We want to stay on the front foot all the time and not kind of be pinned back defending. And then for myself, I pride myself on like hard work, grittiness. Obviously, I'm a forward, but my defensive work rate, I want that to show. Give myself a little bit of that Midwest blue collar type of. That's kind of how I was brought up and raised. So that's what I want to show.
Fired up, man. I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the best answers that we've had so far. So.
You got your celebration down for the first one?
I don't know. I'm still thinking about that. It's kind of. I'm more of a spur of the moment. Yeah, maybe.
Do that thing where you accidentally like fake that you know.
Yeah, pull your hamstring.
Everybody loves that.
Yeah.
Just a spur of the moment?
Yeah, I'm more of an motion guy.
There you go.
Whatever
let it happen.
comes.
Nice, man. Well, we're looking forward to it, man. We know you're going to score a lot of goals here, so looking forward to that first celly.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
The Rowdies run here, the Rowdies run there, they kick the ball around. The Rowdies run here, the Rowdies run there.